Back in 2014, when Naruto ran its final chapter in Weekly Shonen Jump, one of the biggest things that stood out to fans was the drastic change to Konoha. We saw modern technology, a central business district on top of the Hokage monument, and a more modern version of Konoha. The Boruto anime has continued to show us a world that is much closer to our own, missing only social media for ninja, which I'm sure is probably coming. Episode 1 of the Boruto anime gave us a much better look at how much the Hidden Leaf Village had changed, where during Boruto and Shikadai's ride on the train, we saw just how modern Konoha had become. While it's easy to get caught in how modern the series feels, until the anime covered the Naruto Parent and Child Day novel, there wasn't much shown to us about the fact that there's actually two separate parts of Konoha. In the episode where Naruto and Himawari are looking for the Kurama doll, we hear Naruto and Kiba talk about the old part of town, which is a nod to the fact that Konoha has two separate parts to it. The old part of the village is where most of the shinobi live, as well as the older generation who are still hanging on to the era of the second Hokage. The apartments that are built on top of the Hokage monument alongside the central business district of the village are where the newer generation tends to travel to, and where most non-shinobi from Naruto and Konohamaru's generation, as well as new migrants who have come to the Hidden Leaf Village, tend to live. Like I've stated before, I would be doing a video going over some of the stuff left out of the anime adaptation of the Naruto Parent and Child Day novel that the Boruto Naruto Next Generation's anime did, and so I wanted to make good on that promise with this video. Like usual, I'll go over a scene from this novel, and I'll also make references to the stuff that we got in the anime. So in the scene I'm going to share with you guys is actually cut from the Boruto anime by the anime director for this arc. In this scene, we see Naruto looking out at his office at the village and reflecting on what changes Konoha's been through. It's here that we learn what I deem to be Hokage Naruto's greatest accomplishment as Hokage. So what I'll do for you guys now is read the scene in question, then come back to you guys with my thoughts, and it's here I'm going to begin quoting. Before the Fourth Great Ninja War, due to the attack by Pain, the village hidden in the leaves literally became a huge desert wasteland. The earth was transformed by crushing the houses. The base of the village was completely torn out. However, there was something that wasn't destroyed. Just like a ninja, it endured. The Hokage monument. Where the faces of the Hokage resided, so too would there be the village hidden in the leaves. Turning away from the Hokages that had been watching over them for generations and rebuilding Konoha elsewhere, like what was suggested to them, was unthinkable to the villagers. They would definitely resurface in that land. The emotion, the passion that each of these villagers had is what rebuilt the Hidden Leaf Village. It led to wonderful growth. Stores that had been active since the founding of the Hidden Leaf Village had finally become 24-hour stores. Tracks of iron stretched from the interior of the village, and with the lightning car, the villagers could travel to faraway lands in only a few days, safe from any worry about thieves and bandits. The villagers of each village could truly interact with each other. They had finally accomplished true peace. A tall row of apartment blocks had been built behind the Hokage monument. Some of the buildings had giant screens on them which showed news from the Fire Nation as well as the other four great nations. They were truly connected now. Still, there were some who didn't approve of the direction that the village took. That these buildings would be built on top of the Hokage monument. Looking down is so scandalous. It's disrespectful. A large number of people protested these changes. The new apartments allowed for immigrants to move to the Hidden Leaf Village. It led to population swelling as well as the Ninja Academy not having enough students to actually teach ninjutsu. Most of the children weren't from a shinobi background. The Ninja Academy had become one of the Land of Fire school system. They were required to teach education being mandatory, and being a ninja wasn't of the utmost importance anymore. The Hidden Leaf Village wasn't so hidden anymore. Instead, it had now become the capital of the Land of Fire. Naruto Uzumaki didn't look at the villages old Konoha and new Konoha, with new Konoha being the urban area complete with skyscrapers and a central business district above the Hidden Leaf Village's Hokage monument. Most of the people who lived there, they weren't ninja, but they were still family. Family of the Hokage. Family he would die to protect. That was the duty of the 7th Hokage. In quote. So the thing that really stands out about this scene and the fact that it was being cut is that it lessens the moment when Naruto's walking with Himawari looking for the Kurama doll. Naruto's out interacting with the people as one of the people and not as a Hokage. He's getting trampled on for the doll, and he's going through life as a normal person, as a regular person who isn't necessarily a ninja. Naruto's Hokage took office as Konoha was becoming more high-tech. Kakashi oversaw the beginning of this shift, and most of the foundation was set by the time Naruto became Hokage, but there was still much work to be done after Naruto took office, and there's something to be said about the fact that while Naruto didn't design the car, he didn't build the car, he still got in the car and drove it forward. There's something to be said about that. So Naruto's Hokage does deserve that amount of credit. The old people who were getting upset over the changes mirrors a lot of what happens in our own society, where people tend to push back when it comes to new change, preferring in some areas in the country to stick to the things that they have grown up with. Basically, it's like the old man who's shouting at clouds. He's shouting because he doesn't like the weather, he doesn't like the changes that are happening, but the change in weather is gonna come regardless, no matter how much he shouts. So too did change come to Konoha, regardless of how upset the villagers got who were part of that old generation. Under Naruto, Konoha grew so much that it became the Land of Fire's capital, and the feudal lord now has to travel to visit Naruto, whereas before the Hokage had to travel to visit him. So let that sink in. Naruto's so much of a boss that literally his boss has to come visit Naruto in order to take a meeting with him. Do you know how crazy that is? That is absolutely insane. And when the Majina Bandits arc is finally adapted, you're actually gonna see the feudal lord come to visit Naruto. That's so insane, dude. When we see Kiba referring to the old part of Konoha in the anime, this is what the story was hinting at. The fact that there's still a bit of a divide, but as Hokage, Naruto is being inclusive and working on bringing everybody together. Just as the Hokage monument's always been there for the village, looking over the village, Naruto does the same for both sections of the village, working to bring them together. When Naruto looks at the Hokage monument, he doesn't see the past, but instead he can appreciate the past, and he can also see the symbolism of what's happening. The Hokage monument looks over the old part of the village that his father was a Hokage for, while the new era has been built on top of that same Hokage monument. In a way, the parts of the village that we often see Boruto and his friends at in the Boruto anime is being shown as being built on the sacrifices of each and every face of the Hokage who's been carved into the Hokage monument. Also, the new era can prosper, and it kind of fits into the theme of the whole Naruto story, which is the next generation is always going to surpass the previous one, and they're going to benefit from the sacrifices of the previous generation and learn from their mistakes. But I want to know from you guys, what do you think about this? And do you consider this to be Naruto's greatest accomplishment, or do you think that Naruto has some other thing that he can call his greatest accomplishment? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.